just put aside, or...
Ali onda mi treba da budemo preti, a bude ovoj.
Thank you.
Can I invite the panelists? Can they come and sit here, please? The panelists.
Yeah.
You're one of the panelists? Okay, can you please sit here?
Where?
Oh, this doesn't make any difference. Probably.
Maybe you have.
Well, we can order. So, you want to sit here? Milena, maybe you can sit here. So, second one. You're Milena. You're Kerstin.
Yes.
So Milena is here. Okay. And then Charlina, we put it in the middle.
Okay.
Then Victor. You're
From Slovenia.
Okay, so you're Goranc.
Where?
Can you sit there? Watch out.
There.
Yes. And you sit there. You're Ramos. Yes, can you sit there?
Yes, I can. There, yes,
Yes, there.
Gorest.
You know.
Neighbor, Slovenia.
I was born in France, so don't.
Where our people
Okay, again. So,
Where you took
so there are no borders anymore. Yes. Hello. So, how would you place us in the picture?
So you're here, and they're all
Okay.
in the order. Victor, Milena, Kerstin, and then you have Ramos, and then you have Janko sitting in the order.
Just give me a hint of how to pronounce your name.
Ramoyus.
Aramoyus. So it's you. Ramoyus.
Yes,
Okay.
Ramoyus.
Reimeres.
Reimeris. Ramoyus
Ramoyus
Reimeris.
Reimeris. Okay.
You want this, or you prefer to speak?
Yeah. Okay. No. I will speak. So you can keep it.
I can keep it.
Dear colleagues and doesn't work. I don't think it works.
Yeah. Please come inside. We are starting.
It should be clean. Yeah, okay. It's okay.
Dosta jedan papir ovdje. Taj sa pitanjima, ne znam sam dostavio.
Yes.
Nedostaju vam teze, jel? Za izlaganje. Teze vam nedostaju za
Da,
izlaganje.
da. Daj mi samo da prošlo još jedno pitanje. Su nam dali.
A meni su razbacane. Ovo su prva dva.
Aha, dobro.
Onda su ovamo.
I think that we have already critical mass, and in order to keep the networking part also over lunch, we start. We have the first panel discussion now after the very rich presentation by Victor, and I have to tell you, Victor, that you can have a PhD now in smart specialization. I think you really exemplified that this is a serious process. Because when we explain in a nutshell what the smart specialization concept is, many people can say, yeah, but linking business with research, this is something that we've been doing for long years and it's something that is well recognized. However, it's the know-how, how to do it, to use the participatory approach, and also the very heavy evidence behind the process. Because only by working with facts, knowledge, and well-founded analysis, we can really validate the process. So you've seen that before the bottom-up approach, where we crystallize the areas, the domains of prioritization, there is a very serious process of evidence building of what is there in the relevant territory, which makes the region strong in all terms, in research, in innovation, in capacity, in business. So this process is well founded on evidence, and this is the first part. I'm really thankful for this quite detailed and comprehensive explanation, because it informs everyone that is in the pipeline. And I know that there are people also from Ukraine, from Moldova, probably from Georgia, because we have a lot of partners out there, not only in the enlargement area, but also in the neighborhood area and beyond. That's why I said we need political commitment, because it needs a lot of effort behind before it bears fruit. Probably now it's also the time to tell you, in order to sense where the importance is, of how we evolve the concept of smart specialization in European context. It has been an ex-ante conditionality for investing in innovation and research from the structural funds. So these are the big money in the European Union. And it was an ex-ante conditionality because it was a guarantee for efficient spending of money, which will result on the ground into economic growth. Now, for the next programming period and for the next multi-annual financial framework, which starts in 2021 and is now in very serious discussion about amount and distribution, this concept of smart specialization will be again very much into the picture. So it's an enabling condition. And there are a couple of elements we as the Joint Research Center have to specifically look into for all the EU member states and regions. One of them is governance. And just remember how Victor explained what the governance is. And I'm sure, and I'm saying that because I'm sure that many of the speakers of this panel today will talk about governance, because it's always tailor-made by the country where it takes place. So that is one of the lessons learned of how it can work in various countries and regions. The other element is to sustain the entrepreneurial discovery process, which is EDP. So how probably it will be really interesting to see how established member states with established processes struggle it through, so that this cultural change is a real one and sustained. Another one is monitoring and evaluation. If we want to have a professional exercise, it's not enough that it is based on evidence from the very start, but it also needs to be evaluated, monitored, in order to see whether we achieve the targets and results set upfront. So this is key in the process, and this is a third element that we will watch out in the enabling condition. And another one is cooperation. So to what extent it really goes outward looking. And talking about that, I will also use the opportunity to mention that the smart specialization platform that Manuel is going to talk about later in the afternoon, it has thematic platforms on energy, on agri-food, which are very relevant also for Serbia, and industrial modernization, where the cooperation links are really nurtured. Cooperation links across EU where only the value chain relations matter and not administrative or political borders. So with this, I would like to welcome our distinguished panelists. I'm really happy that we have a good bunch of experts from both Western Balkans, but also from member states. And they will share with us experiences and lessons learned from the process, having in mind what Victor said just before this panel. So the idea is to give feedback to Serbia and to everyone that is in the process. And I will start with Victor, who can give us a bit more detail. Then we will go to, yeah, it's not, let me see. Yeah, then we go to Milena. Milena, who is now in the advanced team because she comes from Montenegro and there the process is the most advanced. Then we have Kerstin from Lower Austria, again in the wider region to share experiences which are relevant for Serbia and the other Western Balkans. Then we have Ramoius. Yeah, it's always difficult with the Lithuanian colleagues, who comes from Lithuania. By the way, that is the first set of countries that I was covering in DG Regio, and you've made, at the very start, a very serious process of smart specialization, and this I remember. And then Goras from Slovenia. So it used the opportunity to listen to each and every one, short presentations, 7 minutes, so that we have questions and answers afterwards. Victor. 7 minutes, not more. Okay.
May I less? Thank you very much, Charina, for this introduction in this panel discussion. Yes, you're right. I mentioned some of them, and we really tried to. Thank you. I really tried to. No, it's okay, I think. We really try to do on the proper way. I mean, to follow all methodological advices, all the whole picture of this framework of methodology framework we received last year from at the Sofia meeting, regional one, during the Bulgarian presidency. And it was really tough sometimes. And the major challenges came and were different depending